Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Shane Plays Spirit Island. We're on episode 23. For you, it's only been a few days. For me, it's been about 2.5 weeks, which I do not recommend, by the way. After having a couple of losses in a row, taking time off is not actually a good idea. I think that if I had jumped back into it, I might have remembered some of the mistakes I made a little better, have things be fresher in my mind, learn from those mistakes, and that sort of thing. But it is what it is. Things got busy, and I'm back on things now. I am down to only a 2.5 week backlog, which is still plenty. But wanted to get back into things now that I've got a couple of free hours tonight. Okay, so I am still attempting to fight the core game adversaries at level 6. So to go over this stuff mostly for my own benefit because I don't remember it very well. Obviously, we've always got to watch out for this stage 2 escalation because I'm playing Thunderspeaker and turning Dahan into towns is awful. So we don't want to leave Dahan in places where in stage 2 they could get turned into towns. Heavy mining means we want to make sure they're not doing 6 damage if possible. Population pressure at home is going to add some extra, an extra city and some extra blight. This stage is awful. They do lots of extra damage with their cities and towns. Alright. At the end of setup, the topmost card of the lowest invader stage on the deck. So we're basically going to have one fewer card, and also on the card that went away, they're going to get a town. So yes, when Ravaging adds Blight, it's also going to add towns. So, as usual, Blight is bad, but now it's worse. And then during setup, we're adding even more town, even more Blight. Okay, so basically, lots of very bad stuff for the land. And this extra damage and the extra Blight is always a bad combo. A lot of the rest is setup stuff, largely. Okay, however, rather than just playing it on like the regular board with no scenario, I'm going to play to my strengths and play on the east board with Dahan Insurrection. So as a reminder of all the effects here, when my Dahan move into places, I get to do damage. And then when I destroy cities and towns, they get explorers. If I... Yeah, one explorer per town destroyed and one town per city destroyed, and they go to the closest land with Dahan. I do like that their explorers are not nearly as scary, so turning towns into explorers is pretty cool against Sweden. Turning cities into towns is not as good, but we'll work with it. Alright. And then, yes, the victory conditions change, but we're basically just going to try to get to terror level 2, and then try to make sure we outnumber them in all the places that are cities and towns. We don't even need to outnumber. It uses the word outnumber, but there are no lands where cities and towns outnumber the Dahan, meaning an equal number is totally okay. So as long as we have at least one Dahan per city/town in any given land, we're good. We also lose if there are fewer than 2 Dahan. But at that point, we probably are conceding anyway. All right. So, let's see what this decides to do. Um, so as usual on this map, I think putting my extra presence here makes a lot of sense, because they've already got a city and town here, and so it's a pretty good place to get off an early manifest. So let's toss that there. Okay, exploring the wetlands is not ideal. It does mean that they get to explore, I think, 4 lands. I don't think that warrants a restart. I think we want the extra town down here. Okay. We do at least know they're not coming into the mountains until at least stage 2, so that's something. But I am very concerned about these wetlands immediately. I think we can still do a sudden ambush and a manifest. Probably the best place to manifest is going to be here, because we've already got 3 Dahan here, and I can have 2 presents here fairly easily. I could maybe even get more if I needed it. More of one or the other. So that's pretty good. This place at least has disease, so it's not going to build. But I do need to figure out how to deal with that city very, very swiftly. That city is going to be a huge problem damage-wise. But so is this one, so we may as well take care of this one first. Okay. The interesting thing about Dahan Insurrection is sudden ambush now can actually kill 2 explorers. I don't have any good opportunities for that in this particular situation, but it's nice that just the movement part of sudden ambush already kills an explorer. And it definitely makes Voice of Thunder a lot stronger. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's 1 damage per, right? Yes. It does do damage in the final place, so it's not like I can do like a gather 2, push 1, and do 3 damage that way. Although, as we figured out, I sometimes can if the one that I push was already there. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Okay. So, I do think I want to add a presence here and play these 2. If I had another fast way to move Dahan around, then I could take care of this explorer just with that. But unfortunately, I don't have that yet. We'll certainly be keeping an eye out for that as we are gaining cards. All right. So, Gather the Warriors is going to be here. I do think we want to gather from this most distant wetland. They aren't doing much up there. So we're going to gather there, kill that guy so they don't build here, and they continue not to have access over here. They're only actually building in one place. I ended up without an event deck, which I think I was planning to do, but I forgot to actually check for. So I finally looked up what Command Beast does, or rather when it triggers. So it triggers between each, each phase. So between phase 1 and phase 2, I get the Command Beast card. I can use it at any point. I could even save it all the way till phase 3 and do it twice. At the moment, there are no beasts on the board, so it's not doing me much good here. Because I started in the east section, and while the east section is great for Dahan, it does not have any beasts. So if I find a card that makes beasts, things can happen with that, but otherwise I'm just gonna live with things the way they are. But yes, I remember deciding last time I played this that I no longer wanted to do the event deck, because the event deck, I am now recalling, definitely played a role. I'm sure I could have played better too, let me be clear, but I think it played a role in my defeat last time. Okay, so when I manifest here, I would very much like it if I could wipe most things out. In order to accomplish that, I probably want to gather more in. The problem is the city is going to become a town. Best case scenario would be if I had Gather the Warriors and could get 3 people to finish their movement in here. Because then I could kill the city before using Manifest, and then the Manifest could kill both towns that resulted, and then also kill all of the explorers. But I can't do that. I can at least kill the town by gathering 2 in, and that way it'll just be an explorer, and I can wipe out all the explorers, and this will be left with just a town, which is something I can work with a bit. All right. Let's see here. The alternative is I could deal with this place entirely by gathering some stuff down here, and yeah, it still wouldn't deal with it entirely. There would still end up being a town down here. Alright. So yes, after I gather 2 in here and kill this town, it'll be 3, 4, 5, 6 damage to wipe it out. That's easy, so I do want to push 1 out when I'm done. If I push out here, I can take out this guy, but since this is attacking for 5, I've got to defend 3. That's not quite enough. Definitely a little concerned about the Blight and Cascade that is looking likely down here, and I don't have a great way to prevent. Okay, well, I've got pretty good numbers in here for Manifest already. What if the Gather the Warriors affected this land? Yeah, it still can't do enough damage there. Yep, tricky puzzle. Alright. Well, I can at least kill the Explorer. So it's only the city down here, which does 5 damage, so it won't double blight. It'll still cascade, but it won't double blight. I don't think I can block enough here without doing my manifest here to stop it from doing a double blight. Yeah. Alright. So we will probably gather. It's the question, right? Like, do we want to evacuate this place? Probably. So let's take those up. If I'm gonna kill that one guy, I do need to put 1 person down there. But maybe... I really don't want them to double blight here and then have it cascade once too. This is tricky. This is tricky. Yeah. Yeah, I think this guy is gonna have to make that sacrifice. Okay. I don't want to move presence for that. Let's deal the 1 damage here, and then deal 2 damage here. Okay. Then we manifest here. I guess it's possible the fear card will save us down here. It would have to be a pretty amazing fear card. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. All right. So I definitely want to add 2 presents. Probably I want to keep a grip on this Dahan up here so that I can use them. I'd love to go handle that jungle, but it's kind of out of my reach a bit. So Words of Warning totally takes care of this place and doesn't do anything down here, really. I guess it does make damage simultaneous, but that still doesn't really... Like, it would kill this town. But I really need it here where I can prevent all death. So I'm gonna lose this Dahan, 1 presence for the Dahan, and I'm gonna take a few blight. It's weird that that's saying use. I guess technically you can use it when there's no beasts, but there doesn't really seem to be much point. Alright. I mean, that's not nothing. Depending on what card comes up, that could really affect things. Okay. Not worried about this place. Let's do this one first. And then, unfortunately, this one, we want to cascade here. Yep. Alright. Well, we still have a healthy island, barely. They did decide to show up in the mountains, but at least they can't do their stage 2 thing in the mountains. Alright, so Voice of Thunder is extremely powerful here. I can push 4 and do 4 damage, which is huge. I can wipe out everything here, and this turns into an Explorer. I could do the same here, although it's a little less optimal. I think here is probably where I want to do it. I can maybe take care of this Explorer during the fast phase next turn. Oh, I also have a Gather the Warriors. Oh, geez. And that is currently a Gather 3, Push 2. Oh my goodness. I am spoiled. Okay. So, I could put 4 into here, turn this into just an Explorer. Then I could Gather 3, Push 2 using this space, and the Push 2 can go here and here, finishing off both of those Explorers. And then the only mountain I need to worry about is this one. I still have no solution for this jungle. I guess with Gather the Warriors, I could bring 3 into here, 2 into there. I would do 2 damage. I would be able to Words of Warning. Maybe that's a good idea. I could still do a lot of damage down here, especially in this one that already has Blight. Okay. I could be convinced. I think I convinced myself. So let's get you, you, and all of my presents, and you, and you. Definitely at least one presence. I think it's worth having a sacred site in case I draw any cards that really like that. So 1 damage here. Put the 2 damage on this. So all I've got to contend with is Explorers. And then I want to Voice of Thunder. Pretty much always going to use that mode on this scenario. And we're just bringing the whole team over, including these 2 pieces. Alright. That is fairly effective. Worth noting, my fear card did nothing. Because no coastal mountains there. Alright. Keeping an eye out for stage 2 places in danger. Sands are fine. Jungles. What's the actual wording on this? Yeah. So if they explore the jungle, this is currently a gigantic problem. Although they're about to ravage there, so that'll be fixed. If they explore the wetland, this guy is a problem. If they explore the sand, it's fine. So it's really this guy in the wetland that I should be concerned about. If I have a way to get him out of there while still accomplishing the other things I want to accomplish, I should do that. Alright, so let's do this. And let's really hope for some good minor powers here. Okay, seeing the symbols I like up here. Enticing Splendor is amazing. The one downside is that it's range 0 and doesn't work where there's Blight. I guess that's 2 downsides I just listed. So the one downside is there's 2 downsides. But those things being true, anything that moves around Dahan in the fast phase, especially for free, especially providing air, I can probably find good uses for. Disorienting Landscape is the other card with air. It can prevent some builds. It can potentially prevent Explorers if it's in the right land type. Right now I could literally use it right here, and that would be pretty good. But I think right now... I like Enticing Splendor better for a lot of reasons. Out of these 2, I don't think either of them are worth taking without air, especially because they're slow. So, Enticing Splendor it is. Alright. Grabbing another one. Alright. We still have air cards. Glancing at the other ones to see if they're worth it. That one is slow and doesn't really do what I need it to do. This one I don't think works very well in this situation. It's basically just a stall for next turn. I really need my cards doing work right now. So, Call to Trade. Gathers Dahan in the fast phase. Lovely. And then it can turn Ravages into builds if the terror level is still low, which once the terror level goes up, we probably win pretty soon. So I think Call to Trade is really nice. Building is still bad, but at least it's not adding Blight. And then this one, it's slow. Lots of fear, potentially. But otherwise a slow way of mostly just adding... Like, I could see an argument for just piling on fear, because I am sort of in a race uh, to get to Terra level 2. But again, I really feel like I should be doing things that are a little more active. So I think we're going to take Call to Trade. Okay, so how do we solve the problems that we have right now? I need to get this guy out of this land, and I also would love to bring him here in particular because that would kill this guy and prevent a build. Wouldn't mind pushing down here in the slow phase. Most importantly, I need to defend here, and sadly I didn't find any new defend cards, so we're definitely taking Words of Warning. That is going to wipe this place out nicely, and when they explore, if they explore there, it then will make it so that they don't do that. If they explore the wetlands, we're kind of in trouble anyway, but we should try and get this guy out if we can. So, Call to Trade would do it. The second half of it won't do anything, but the first half will definitely function to just gather this guy in. Enticing Splendor doesn't work because there's a Blight here. Sudden Ambush works, but it's a bit overkill. It does cost 2 instead of just 1, and it could be more useful elsewhere later. I am very concerned about this land, but let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's enough I can do here. Granted, Call to Trade next turn, if I did it down here, would turn that into another build, so they wouldn't Ravage. They would have a lot more buildings, which I do eventually need to outnumber, so maybe Call to Trade is more useful next turn for dealing with this place, and I should just sudden ambush up here this turn. I'm kind of liking the logic there. I do have just enough money for it. Yeah, this seems like it works pretty well. Okay. I also will have a Gather the Warriors, because both of these have animal symbols. So even if I did use Call to Trade, I'd have Gather the Warriors. So it's currently I can gather up to 3. So I could gather 3 down here, kill the city they're about to build. And then next turn, possibly do the Call to Trade, gather 1 more, maybe an Enticing Splendor, gather 2 more. I'm starting to run out of pieces I'm going to gather, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's do this. So, definitely a sudden ambush here. Pulls that guy in. Super overkill. Words of Warning here. Exactly the right amount of kill. Finish using powers. Beautiful things happening there. Not a big fan of that, but what you gonna do? Alright, exploring the coast. Means there's no escalation, which is, good on the face of it. But I'm definitely extremely worried about these 2 wetlands. Those are very, very problematic. Okay, so if we're going to Call to Trade down here, we technically don't need a lot of people there, but it is on the way to getting this giant party over this way, which we kind of need them over there anyway. So I think gathering 3 into here and destroying the city is maybe still the right call. It also makes the city more vulnerable because it is now a town, and we get some fear for it. So let's gather the warriors, take 3. I'm confident enough that I can prevent the Ravage to bring my presence as well. And then no pushing, because I want to do all 3 damage here. Alright, more fear cards. Racing toward that fear. Yeah. So I guess we are technically 7 fear tokens away from Terror level 2. Gotta keep that kind of thing in mind. Okay. So, if I'm calling to trade here, they're gonna build here. There's gonna be a lot of stuff, but I'm not gonna worry about the Ravage. Enticing Splendor could gather this guy here to prevent that build, which is great. This build is already prevented. This I don't really have any hope of doing anything about. But I do need to get in there quickly. So playing these 2 cards would be nice. I'm already going to have enough energy for it, so I could do a double presence add. Ooh, which could get me up to a 3rd card play, and then I can Voice of Thunder, which will help a lot in getting into this land. Alright, I'm liking this plan. So I'll probably put presence here and here, and I can possibly leave some behind if things are looking that way. Alright, so then I play 3 relatively cheap cards. Next turn will obviously be a Reclaim, I guess. It could also be a Reclaim 1 and do a Manifest with 1 other power. But if I do a full Reclaim, I get 3 power uses, which is likely better. This does have the downside in that it has no animal symbols, so I'm not getting this, and also no fire symbols, so I'm not getting this. But Voice of Thunder is great, and this is what I got. Like, I used all my animal symbols. Alright, so we finished playing cards. So we want Enticing Splendor here. Pull you in, deal a damage. Lovely. Call to trade here. Pull you in. Oh, right, it gathers other buildings as well. So we probably want to gather out of the coastal land. I'm a little worried now. Okay, well, they can't go to mountains. So I'm not worried about them exploring here and converting. Yeah, this seems good. Let's pull that out of there. I only get 1 damage, so let's just off this guy. And then they'll make a city here, and after I get the terror level up high enough, I'll come out over and have that many Dahan. Okay. Finish using powers. Alright, each player can choose a land with Dahan or adjacent to at least 5 Dahan. Invaders do not ravage there this turn. So this says the first ravage in target land becomes a build instead. So if we prevent the ravage here, then I think it prevents the build because it was a ravage turning into a build. So let's do that. Yeah. All right, that's going well. That's going very, very well. All right, they're going in the sand. That's lovely. I think we're on a good track here. So, I could bring 4 down here. That would kill the city and an explorer and leave a town and an explorer. Or no, a town and a town. Which is dealing 6 damage, so that's still too much to defend. but maybe we can do more there in a bit. Alternatively, we bring these 3 in here, kill a town and an explorer, and just are left with 2 explorers, which I can defend. So I guess it's a question of, do I come in here and know that I can prevent a cascade? Or do I come in here and hope I can prevent a cascade? But depending on what cards I get with my reclaim, yeah, this just feels so risky. Because I could end up having them ravage here, and both of them cause blight, both of them cascade. It would be really bad. So I think I'm going to take the safer bet and take care of this place, even though this place is just going to get really, really blighted if I don't find a way to deal with it in the cards I'm about to gain. Okay. So we Voice of Thunder these 3. I think we bring them all. I think. Hang on. So I'm going to reclaim. Yeah, let me actually undo this. So I'm going to reclaim. I'm up to 3 card plays. I'm going to have 3 power. I could definitely play some cards. That get me destroy a town for every 2 Dahan in target land. Like, even just off the top of my head, Enticing Splendor, Voice of Thunder, and Sudden Ambush. That costs 2 and gets me Lead the Furious Assault as a fast power. And gets me Gather the Warriors for 4. This works out pretty well, because I can, if I have 4 in here, I can kill both towns, the one that is going to be created from this, and the one that's already there, turn them into explorers. The only problem is, at that point, I'm not playing a defend card, but maybe I'll find a defend card that has the right stuff on it. But I'll also have Gather the Warriors for a lot. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and I think it's good enough to try it. Okay. Right, I have to click, 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 click. Here we go. Moving on in here. Take all of my presents. I could theoretically leave one behind. Maybe I should leave one behind. Let's undo. My thinking is I do have Enticing Splendor, so if I have something here, since it isn't blighted, I could gather people in here later for damage. So I think I want to leave one behind. Alright, we're thinking with our heads. Whoops. Oh, frack. No, undo. Have to target the place I'm pushing from. Alright. So we just take 2, because that's going to be plenty for anything I want to do anyway. 1, 2, 3, and you. Okay. We take the reclaim. We take minor power. Okay. So I found a defend card. That's lovely. It's range 1. It has wind. It has another effect that I don't much care about. I think this is the obvious pick. Let me glance at the others. Call to Tend is nice in this scenario, but I don't think I'm ever going to have a turn where I am okay with not playing wind if I have the option to play all wind, because I really need my innates to go fast. This one does have whatever symbols I need. Elemental Boon is pretty cool because I can do air, fire, and sun. So that triggers most of Lead the Furious Assault and Gather the Warriors. No, not and Gather the Warriors. But I could do like animal, air, and sun maybe. Basically, it can replace one of the cards in the aforementioned combo so that I can maybe use Words of Warning. Let's see what that would look like. I'm going to have 3 power, so that's good. This one costs 1. So if I were to use Words of Warning and Elemental Boon, I guess at that point I don't need the animal, so Elemental Boon could be Sun, Fire, Air. Then I've already got all the symbols I need for both of these powers, just with those 2 cards. And then my 3rd card, I could do a little more with. Yeah, it's really the fire that I'm lacking. So let's see, if I'm doing both of those, that means I can kill these 2. There'll still be 2 explorers left. I can put a defend here. Then I can evacuate there using Gather the Warriors with move some people up here. If I kill everything, then there's just an explorer. I don't know what other 3rd card I would want to use, but I think I'm convincing myself that I don't need another defend card. And Elemental Boon is extraordinarily flexible. So let's take it. Alright, what else you got for me, deck? You've been very good to me this game. Definitely one of these 2. We've been discussing how fire is sort of a hot commodity right now. I don't like that it's slow, but I do like that it can do massive amounts of damage. And my only other option, I mean, 3 fear is 3 fear. 3 fear is 3 fear. So if we make this our 3rd card, we are 5 fear away, and we're going to get some from that. Alright, let's get weird with it. So, Elemental Boon, Words of Warning, and Portents of Disaster is a combination of cards that you can play. So Elemental Boon is going to add the fire I need, an air I need, and then a symbol I don't care about. So it could be swapped out for a sudden ambush, which accomplishes more. So let's save Elemental Boon in case there's another turn after this one. I think there is going to be like one more, but I think maybe I can win next turn. It's starting to feel that way. So I play it this way. I get the extra stuff there. I guess the other element I would use from Elemental Boon would be an extra sun to make Lead the Furious Assault or Gather the Warriors that much stronger. Give me a Gather 4 Push 3 instead of just Gather 4 Push 2. How much do I care? Let's see. So sudden ambush. I think sudden ambush is not as good a deal, because essentially getting the sun moves a guy, and sudden ambush moves a guy. Yeah, let's do Elemental Boon. Saves us an energy for next turn, which we may end up needing, and still accomplishes what we need to accomplish. So very first thing we do is element myself, giving me one of these, and one of these. Hold on. Undo. One of these, one of these, one of these. There we go. All right. So, for Ace Assault here. Does wonderful, horrible things to all of them. Words of warning. Make sure that they can't hurt us. Okay. Should have done the portents first, but we can just do it here. Now we are going to gather the warriors. And how exactly do we want to gather them? I think I do want all 4 damage to end up here. So I guess the extra sun isn't really going to matter, because we're not going to push anyone anyway. But I'm definitely going to gather some of these because they're not really doing that much anyway. Maybe all of them? And then one from down here to maximize. I think we want a sacred site there, but more than that is overkill, and leaving a presence back here theoretically could come in handy. So I'll move those 2. It is very tempting to send one over here to kill this guy, but at that point I'm only doing 3 damage. The town turns into an explorer, and we have 2 explorers here, which is too many. So that's where we're at. Well, that's real good. Okay. So all we need to do at this point is get 3 guys in here, 1 here, and 1 here because they're about to build. And we can probably do that next turn during the fast phase. Especially because we saved our sudden ambush. That actually is an argument for saving sudden ambush. Alright. Very confident we can win next turn. Alright, we're adding Strife to a land with at least 2 invaders. Then each invader takes 1 damage per Strife it has. So these guys are dead anyway. We can certainly kill this guy with that. I don't think they're going to have a chance to ravage anywhere, so the actual strife doesn't matter. So sure, let's just off this guy. Ooh, very nice. Let's take it from here, just to empty this place entirely out. It also has more reach for exploring. Not that it's likely going to matter. Or I could take it from here so that they don't... build. That's the word I was looking for. They don't build here. Alright. Yeah, I think I like that better. That gives me less ground to cover. Okay. Don't really care where you do it first. Everyone's gonna die. Alright. Okay. Yeah. 0 doubt in my mind I can now win during the fast phase. I also now have 2 command beasts. They do not matter. Okay, so all we need is movement. I can just play these 3 cards. Let's toss a presence. I guess get a reclaim for the lulls. None of these cards matter very much. We'll take the elemental boon. So this one's great. This one's great. This one's great. That gets us to gather the warriors. That should be more than enough to do what we need to do. Finish playing cards, playing a little fast and loose because I feel like I've already won. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't care about the presents. 1 comes over here. Still don't care about the presents. I guess deal some damage here. And we win. Alright, so we have continued to learn that, what's it called? Dahan Insurrection is, makes the game easier for Thunderspeaker rather than harder. It sure does think that it adds a difficulty 4, but with this combination, it does not. Nice chunky score there. Obviously bolstered to huge effect by the fact that we were theoretically playing on difficulty 13, even though it was much easier than playing without a scenario and without this board. Quick glance at these stats, in case there's that one person out there who just loves, like, freezing it on the stats and being like, oh, look, this is, what happened. Wow, he gained 11, or 17, what was I looking at 11? There's no 11s here. 17 went air. That sure is a neat statistic right there. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. And I think we'll probably do this same scenario against England next time and finish off that achievement. Later.